Let's get straight into the market for yesterday. At the close of the market on Tuesday, the all-share index grew by 80.84 basis points to 53,220 or 38.67 from 53,157.83 point the previous day. While the market capitalization also notched closer or to closing around 29 trillion with 44 billion naira increase to 28.99 trillion naira yesterday. Now the market spread ended positive as Living Trust led 29 gainers and 18 losers, topped by Charms. Meanwhile, the year-to-date performance of the capital market is at 3.18%. However, the stock market has advanced by 643.01 basis points since the start of the year. So let's get into looking at some of the performance of individual stocks yesterday. Universal Insurance was the busiest stock on Tuesday as it's transacted about 48.6 million units with about GT code trading at 14.2 million units at the close of transactions yesterday. Zenith Bank sold by about 12.5 million units of shares. Access Bank is on the top of the story as well with its 11.6 million units of stocks, and Unity Bank traded around 10.9 million units of equities at the close of yesterday as well. And so looking like the banking stock dominated the tradings at the close of Tuesday. So let's get into the conversation now. Ambrose Omodian, a Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited. He joins us live here in the studio now. Thank you for joining us, Ambrose.
Thanks for having me.
It's earnings, and looking like we're seeing that impact in the market. But let's start from the banking index that dominated the activities yesterday. So would you attribute these the positive sentiment in the market to the activities in the banking sector?
Yeah, actually I would say it's part of it, because you look at the year to date, banking sector is one of the best performing stocks. Thanks about 7.45% for year to date. It's a good one, coming ahead of what the market is. Market performed about 3.88% for the year to date. And that means that's what is happening in the banking sector, and still this sector stocks still look undervalued, because also in the history of our market.
Why did you say so on the value?
On the value, if you look at the earnings that are coming out from this sector, these earnings are powerful to tell you that they still have the upside potential to go, because price feed on earnings, and if that is so, already we have seen most of the banks, especially the second tier banks and also other ones like Stanbic, we see numbers that are emerging from this bank. These numbers are really impressive. And also don't forget that the policy that is ongoing in the economy from CBN is also favoring the banks, and also seeing that yes, our economy is still slowing down in terms of growth, but we're still not in a negative position. It tells you that the banks will benefit from all these activities. On the final note, earnings is what we want to see, because that will determine what you pay out to your investors. I believe that these earnings we're seeing now, they will support a good payout for the investor. That means we expect to see dividend growth from most of these banking stocks. And for me, the price they are selling is still very, very also attractive. That means for investors that are really looking for the income, or we call it a dividend income investor, I think because in the history of our market, also we know that this sector is the most consistent dividend paying sector. Before we start seeing the agricultural sector, we can start seeing the telecom coming up powerfully now, but they still maintain that is the toast of investors anytime, any day. And don't forget that you can't separate economic activities from the banking sector. That's why I say banking sector is the engine room of any economy. If the economy is doing well, but to say the bank also doing well.
So the year to date is also supporting the level of performance we are seeing in the market. I mean 3.18%. It looks like some people say, is this going to how long will this sustain? Are we likely to see this sustained, and do we see it as something that is just floating for the moment because of the earnings we are seeing in the market?
Yes, earnings is part of what has sustained the market today, but I'll tell you, investors in the market, I'm happy that most of them are becoming savvy and very intelligent in investing. You need to understand what we call market dynamics. Any market situation, there's environment surrounding that market. Ideally, when you see an environment where there is no hike in interest rate, the market should be bleeding now. But you can see that the reverse is the case. Even as at November, when we did under 100 basic points, market maintained an uptrend for that November to date. Also, we did another one this January. Tells that the dynamics market is changing. Why? Investors are looking at what is happening because time is very, very important in equity investment. Or in any investment you are doing, time is very, very important. Knowing that this is a season that we're expect to see companies releasing their earnings. I said it before we start that we saw MTN announcing their audited account, and this is the first company that actually is the sense they listed on the exchange. The result come from 31st and the 1st of February. The result must hit the market, and for that they have done it again. They announced their their audited account for the first audited account for hitting the market this year with a dividend of 10 naira in addition to 5 naira 80 they are paid before. That is about 15 naira 80. For me, this is a good one. This tells you that
it looks like this is a party time for investors. Yes,
no, because you have not the end of around March for them to close down. For me, it's a good one for them to take the dividend. Other stocks in the market that has potential to pay a good dividend. That means this period, like what I said on Monday, that at this season, elections around the corner.
Right.
No, we're hearing Ukraine and Russia war, whether it's going to escalate or going to become, nobody knows. And also, the fixed income market, that's also be like, a checkmate for the equity market. You see, the recent rate hike
looks like
there's a dimension,
migration from that market.
There's a kind of individual from what is we're seeing with the NPR and also the rate in that domain. It tells you that investors are also looking at, if I can spend shorter period to make this return here, and come back here, and don't forget that those decline we saw in the physical market is not cast on stone. It's possible that the next, what is called Treasury bill auction, they were just up. But for investors, take advantage of what is saying now. Where can I go and make good return in the shorter period? I think equity is where they are looking at, because this any season, as I said earlier, we just see the first account hitting the but now the 15th of February, you see more companies announcing their corporate action, and corporate action is what we want to see. What are they paying?
Let's quickly switch now and focus particularly. Of course, you talk about the MTN result earlier. We don't have that figure, but let's quickly focus on Flour Mill Nigeria. Publishing its 9-month unaudited result yesterday, reporting about a decline in it. Need to result from around 4 naira to 2 naira 87 kobo for earning per share. So the profit after tax decline. Profit, yes, declined by around 30% thereabout. So talk to us about this particular result. So how impressive would you say it is? Is it something that is manageable? How do you think investors are reacting to this? Even though revenue grew by 30.2% year on year in the third quarter, yes, the profit, after tax still declined.
Yeah, actually, I would say that is a misnomer, because we are seeing in an uptrend in the top line, which will say that by almost 30%, which is above inflation rate year to date. Inflation is about around 21.34. That means they've beat inflation there. But where investors are really more interested is to see your profit after tax, after you are taking, pay your tax, all your expenses have been deducted. Want to see your profit. That is where the time what will come to us as investor. But if you look at that, profit after tax, there's a decline there.
I beg your pardon. I think it is profit before tax that declined by 33%.
Profit after tax also declined. Okay. Profit after tax also declined. That is where you and I are looking at, because where we're going to partake. Because the top line is good, but what comes after you have paid all your charges, you have paid your cost of operation, what is left is what investors are attracted. That's why I would say. Then looking at that, you have sure there is a decline for about 4 naira to around the 2 naira 87 kobo in terms of earning per share. For that, we tell you that what is happening globally, they are not left behind, because this importing of wheat, we know what their business is also have eaten into their cost. But I believe that by now, Flour Mills have done the backward integration to understand that yes, they will be depending on more, because from what we are seeing now, cost is what they eat into that that result. I mean, they need to also look at their cost and not to adjust it, going to the future. But also, if you look at another sister company there from Honeywell, the number also are in the same direction. But only the Northern Nigeria Flour Mill in that group has performed well. That means they need to also sit down and look at the operation. But I believe that since March is their year end, investors will not be looking at all this stuff for now, unless they pull back, because you want to look at where can we get a dividend. This one, we're not expecting dividend now, because this third quarter unaudited account, we're supposed to see their full year by latest June this year. That means for investors seeing this result now, they will easily be selling all the stock to go to where they can make money and come back later again. But I believe that the number is not too bad. It's a mixed number, but because it's into a sector that will know that it has to do with food, and you know that you can't do without food, that means there's still room for them to bounce back and also post good result. But for investors, know that when a company produce a good result, market will give you share, they give you good one. But if your level is not too attractive, market will treat you that way. That means I want to see this stock this morning, started comment and people want to sell because yes, third quarter is not looking good. Opportunity are there in other stock for you. They have to go portfolio reshuffling, sell this one to enter another one. But I believe that for after the any season, if you are coming back there,
just before we go on, I mean, just before we wrap up, just quick one now, and then you show us your chart and what is expected today. Some analysts are saying that even though the third quarter result came in below their expectation, that the company's revenue, gross margin also, they expect that it is probably in the next one may not be that fantastic as well. So how do you think investors are responding to this number or would respond to this henceforth? Given this number,
I said it earlier that it's good for a company to eat into other business market or market share by expanding, which they've done. Their top line growing by 30%, which is good. But you are not an investor interested in the bottom line. That's why we are looking at. But I said it earlier that because they are into a sector which I know that there is potential for them to do more. So consequently, you can see that.
Well, it also looks like they also have a lot of strong competitors. For instance, you have Dangote Sugar, and they also have part of sugar as their product as well, and other agro-allied product as well.
That's no issue, because if your company is growing its top line, it means that it's eating into another supermarket or is introducing more product. My focus is on their bottom line. The top line is okay. They are doing business. That's why they're able to go. It's also reflect. Like I said, cost is part of what I've eaten into their world. We believe that subsequently going to the future, we expect an improvement that will also reflect on their.
Quickly take us through the chart and give us, what is expected for Wednesday's, section, and how investors are likely to react to these numbers coming into
like today, the midweek, also the first day of the month of February. I expect that seeing the result that comes so far on the on the unaudited account and the photo that came from MTN, we expect market to maintain this momentum we have seen since November. But the good thing is that investors are also smart, or traders, let me do that one, traders that are smart also be taking profit, seeing this stock moving on. But I believe that the market shows that at this point again, market is also forming what we call double top again. Market has crossed the 53,000 mark. You can see from here to this point, it tells you that market is once it breaks it out again, that's why we now say, yeah, this market is on a move, on a big move. But I'm interested in looking at the monthly chart, because the month just ended. This is the monthly chart that investors should also look at. We have seen how the market has performed for the month of November, December, and January. This market has formed also what we call it a V shape. A V shape is a bullish the chart pattern in equity investment or in chart analysis. That means for you to see this, when I tell you that the market is still very, very strong, for me, investors should not just worry at all, but take advantage of what we are seeing in the market, also to take profit. You can see that both the MACD and the money flow are still looking up. It tells you that things are still working and also going for the market as we speak. There's no cause for alarm. All the charts on the daily chart, weekly chart are still looking positive for the market. That is good thing. But I will tell you that the earnings so far has also supported the market. That means you don't need to panic at all. Both the daily chart, weekly chart, and monthly chart are still positive, and that is the good thing for the market as we speak.
Okay. I think we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Ambrose Amorion, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited. Thank you for sharing your thought with us.
Thanks for having me.
Also watching Business Breakfast coming to you live from our studios here. Still to come after the break. IMF upgrades Nigeria's 2023 economic growth projection to 3.2%. Well, that's our focus next, and we can ask how can Nigeria position for this growth? That's next on the program. Please stay with us.